Hey everybody, welcome back to Lessons Learned, the podcast where we aim to turn our experiences into your wisdom. I'm Randy, here today with Chris, Jared, Joe, and Talon. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about moving away from home for the first time. A lot of us can talk to that on this one. Chris, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? It's Chris again. So, let's see, a little update for this week. Nothing really new here. Still in Nebraska. Second week back. Me and Jared, just chilling back with Talon and, grinding out this podcast episode.
We went public.
We did went public. Well, we mentioned that last one, but yeah, we're good.
Oh, did
we're doing, right now we're currently doing those posts for the cast members. So if anyone ever gets confused on to who's talking, we're trying to, help that flow with our Instagram account. So give you a face to the voice. So today we're talking about moving away from home for the first time. And as four of us have done it, well, Joey doesn't really count. Rip.
But, I've moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Moved from Jersey.
It's all about the experiences, some stories, and, how we either one, thrived, or two, kind of wish we were back home. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give it off to Talon. Tell us your experience about moving away from home for the first time.
So I think it's scary. I think everyone could probably agree with that. You're leaving everything that you kind of know behind in terms of the location and the people. But honestly, so you kind of mentioned being able to thrive from it. I think most people that move away from home, it's probably for the better for themselves. Just being able to get out there into the world, especially if you're kind of just on your own, you just get more independent, and you just, I don't know. It's something that I think everyone should experience at least once in their life. Get away from your hometown, get away from your family, even if it's just for something like a year. I think everyone can pretty much benefit from it. But it's scary, and after a while, you might start missing family and everything. You're gonna get homesick, but I don't know. The experience that you get from it, I think it outweighs it, even if you just live alone for a little while.
Yeah, to me, it's like you find yourself.
Yeah.
When you take yourself so far out of your comfort zone, and I've got a lot of personal stories for this, but I'll let some other people talk to it first. So, anyone else got any opinions?
Yeah, it's like taking a giant leap, especially if you're close to your family. I feel like family is definitely a big factor in how you deal with it, because I grew up the youngest of 6 other siblings, 3 older brothers and 3 older sisters, and we were all pretty close. And moving away from all of them, it kind of sucks, But I had just turned 18 at the time, and I don't think I really understood the fact that I was moving away from home for good at the time. It didn't hit me until I got to basic training. I was like, oh, well, I just left home, and I have no idea when I'm going to go back, because I was just so dead set on going into the military that I didn't really think about, all the life changes that would come with that.
That makes sense. I don't think it hit me until I got into tech school. So if for anyone who doesn't know, after basic training, you go to something called tech school where you actually learn your job and stuff. But so it didn't hit me until after that, because BMT to me, I went in the summer, after senior year. So it was summer camp to me.
So you were one of those guys who, left high school right into the military.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And honestly, it didn't feel like I left, that was my first experience as an adult, I guess, not in high school too. So it's just I don't know. It didn't seem that weird to me being in BMT or anything like that. But once I got to tech school, able to use your phone again, talk to people friends back home. And now you're just living through your day to day, kind of just going to class, getting food at the DFAC, going back to your dorm room and stuff like that. That's when it kind of hit me, especially I don't know, little things your new mailing address and stuff like that. You got to change your Amazon account and stuff, random little things like that. It's just oh yeah, I'm somewhere completely different right now.
You know what's funny for the other of you guys who've been in the military? Sorry, Randy, but have you guys look back or talk to old friends and then just realize that where you came from, your hometown, almost nothing changed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone's kind of in the same exact spot, just stagnant.
Yeah, some people are making families and stuff, but they're doing them. But the fact that they're still home.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny because some people just kind of are stuck in their hometown, and then people for us at least, if you move away, you get a whole new experience, and you actually have to adapt and move on. So I don't know, it's just kind of like funny to see what changes or what doesn't change in your hometown.
Yeah, so all right, I'm going to talk about my personal experience and give a little story, so it might take a few minutes here. But I've had both scenarios where, one, I moved prior to the military, destroyed me, absolutely hated it. And then I joined the military and thrived. So, I'm in high school, right? Sophomore year, we decided to move to Delaware from New Jersey. No friends, no nothing, just, new one in high school. Made 2 years there, made 2 friends, 3 friends that I actually enjoyed hanging out with. I just total culture shock, and I just absolutely hated it, just depressed. And, I went from the mountains and hiking and wood shop to everything I loved to none of that. And that, those are your transformation years. You're finding out who you are as a person, and, seeing where you want to go in life and what you want to do for college. But to me, it was just I reverted back to nothing. So it sucked. However, some good points from that was I had no friends, therefore my grades were straight A's because I had nothing else to do. So I was I'll just do my schoolwork, whatever. I was working at Lowe's. I wasn't doing anything with my life. So then I went to college and made a few more friends, University of Delaware. And so yeah, I did college. And then I did 2 years on a scholarship, and after that scholarship ran out, I was I don't, there's no reason for me to stick around. I had a serious girlfriend. We broke up, and I was there's nothing holding me back anymore. So I'm just going to send it. I took Joey's lesson from episode 1.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh,
Was that when you decided to join the military?
Yep. Just got up, went and talked to a recruiter, lived in Jersey for a few more months as I was talking to the recruiter and going through the program.
Sold your soul.
Sold my soul. Yep, but guess what? I don't regret it, because here we are in Nebraska. So that was my second big move away from home, which was I couldn't wait to get out of Delaware because I just don't enjoy it. And now I'm thriving, I found myself, I'm living on my own. And it's funny, some people may dream about going back home. I literally have nightmares about being stuck back home.
Oh my god.
I swear. It was so, I dislike it so much that I have nightmares of that I'm stuck back home, and I ended up back home with my parents and stuff, and it drives me insane. So
I'm
very independent, and I love it.
You dream about that. Joe's living that nightmare.
You're a dick.
Poor Joey.
No, honestly though, so yeah, I had both sides of that story. Is one, I just absolutely hated it in Delaware, and 2, now I'm here loving it. So I mean, it's not where I want to live for the rest of my life, but I'm making the most of it. I'm doing me. So yeah.
I mean, on the flip side, Joe, you also had to move away from New Jersey. How was it like for you?
So I actually was able to handle it better than Chris. I don't know if it dealt with my age or just who I am as a person. I don't know. I think I was a lot more social because I moved in middle school. He was 3 years above me. I think you were a freshman in high school, right, Chris?
No, if you listen to my story at all, I'd tell you I was a sophomore.
Wow, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. So I wasn't. Are you sure I was in 7th, 8th? No, you. I was in 7th.
Are you calling
grade.
him a liar?
I'm 3 years older than you, dingus.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, fine, whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, no, I was in 7th grade when we joined when I was in 7th grade, and I don't know. I made friends very easily. Middle school went pretty well. High school, I made a lot of friends here, and it didn't really hit me too hard. I think I was just able to blend right on in with everyone. So I wasn't really depressed. I played a lot of Xbox, and I kind of stopped playing sports. That was a big thing that sucked for me. I wish I was a little bit more active, but I think I handled it pretty well. Now, moving into the Air Force, I was excited. I joined the Air Force to get out of Delaware. Delaware's really not a bad spot, but there's really nothing to do here, especially for a young single dude. You want to go out and party, dude, there's nothing in Dover. It sucks. So, I went to San Antonio for basic training, and then we would go to tech school, and that's where you find out where you're going for your first base. And I remember I was with 4 other dudes in the computer area that they have in tech school, and you get to log in and see where your first duty station is. And one of my best friends from basic training got Dover, and he's sitting here behind me. He's like, "Oh, get Dover with me." I'm like, "No, shut the hell up. I don't want to go back." And I pull it up, and I got like the 4 dudes behind me. It's like the drum rolls going on, and pull up the first duty station, Dover, Delaware. I rolled back in my chair. I'm like, "Fuck!" They all started dying laughing.
Couldn't be me.
I know.
So
They
Joe,
start laughing and your soul just dies.
Dude, it was terrible.
So Joe,
Welcome to the nightmare.
Yep.
I want to go back. I want to go back a little bit to what you were saying about whether you think it's your personality that you thought you handled it better. I want to bring this up because if back from our episode that we did about like losing friends and family members, you kind of like had the same perspective. So maybe it is kind of a personality trait on your end.
I do think it is. I'm very like, I don't want to up talk myself, but I do consider myself a very friendly person, very easy to get along with. Like that's kind of what I strive to be. So I always try to be there for friends, and I try to make friends. I used to be very introverted, but recently over the past years, like I've become a lot more social. I'll go out of my way to talk to people and help people out, and I think that just draws friends to me. And so I'm always smiling. If you ever meet me, I'm always smiling. So I think that just helps me meet new people, get along with everyone really well, and I think that's kind of just the personality that helps you.
When you have to go away from people, it's kind of almost like all right, well that sucks, but and then in the case of moving, at least it's like, all right, well they're not gone forever, for one, and two, I'm gonna make new friends wherever I go. So
exactly, I like to stay optimistic. You'll always meet new people that you can get along with, and go have a good time with new people.
I have that mindset too, and like it's very prevalent out here. Like I make friends very easily. I mean, I'm friends with all you freaking nitwits, but I don't know, just something about moving to Delaware. I was also very naive at the time and like closed-minded. I just didn't want to talk. Like I didn't want to be there, so therefore I didn't open up. And I mean, from what I recall, they were just not my type of people to hang out with. Like no one shared the same interests as me because they're all raised differently. Even though it's only a 4-hour drive to where we lived there, it was just totally different to me, and I didn't want to accept any of it, so I just didn't even try.
I think based on where we were in Delaware, like everyone had different hobbies than you did, because obviously you liked hiking in the mountains and everything like that, and you had your different way of living, and no one kind of really matched that. Just different lifestyles, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So it was weird.
We talked about that a little bit in the culture episode.
Yeah, yep. Definitely the worst years of my life was high school. Like some kids can handle it, some kids can't. So I was one of those who was struggling a lot. But yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, you failed gym because you were depressed.
No, I failed gym in New Jersey because I was an asshole hanging out with my asshole friends doing hood rat shit.
Oh,
you actually failed
yeah,
gym
dude,
class?
I failed gym too.
You failed gym?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No way.
For one semester, yeah, because I just didn't want to participate because I was mean mugging with all my hood rat friends.
Was this at Wallkill?
Don't mess with that guy.
Yeah, Wallkill.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
how do you
That's
fail
what I
gym
said.
at Wallkill?
Because I didn't do anything. That's
Oh
what I
my
said when I moved to
God.
Delaware. My grades went way up, and I got the scholarship for college. So in reality, it's kind of like a tough love thing that I got in my life. I don't know who sent it to me. Somebody did. They're like, wake up, Chris. So it turned my life around. I went from just being a freaking punk to I'll do my schoolwork, I'll get this scholarship, I'll go to college, and now I'm joining the Air Force, and I continued my education. So now I have my bachelor's degree. And I might go for my master's, I'm not sure yet. But like none of that would have happened if I hadn't moved. Like I don't know where I would be. I was one of those kids who never wanted to move away from home. And now it's like I never want to be in one place more than like a year or two. Like I always want to move. And it's strange. Yeah.
Yep. Change can be very scary, but if you can learn to live with change, it makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, just going with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that's really hard about leaving home is finding friends at your new place, like the new place you live in. And I feel like for myself, it was kind of like my friends found me because I was pretty introverted. And I just hung out with whoever was in my class or like my tech school training class or whatever. So I found friends that way. But How about you guys? Like, how did you make friends?
I think that military, you'll make friends so easily because race, religion, sexual orientation, none of it matters. You're all going through the same shit, so you all have something to relate to.
Everyone has at least one common ground. I mean, and you're around each other all the time too. So it's like you kind of have to. Start
you have
talking.
no choice. So you might as well be friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's like either you can be friends with them, or you could just like be sad and not talk to anyone for like 2 months or however long it might be, because you're stuck with those people.
And then even then, those people drag you out to go do something. Like you'll have no choice. You know, mandatory fun is a thing. We get voluntold for shit all the time.
You just embrace the suck together.
Yeah,
and it builds strong bonds between people.
Exactly, and that's something you'll never get in the civilian world. Is like, you just can't relate. You know, as much as like I believe that people will never be as close as they are in the military because of everything you've gone through. Like imagine the guys you went through, like, you know, original training with, like basic training where like it sucked and you were getting screamed at. I'm sure you talked to at least one of them still.
Oh yeah.
So
one of them's my roommate.
Yeah, and then when you finally get to your first duty station, or if you're a civilian and you move to Colorado or wherever, you know, you can find yourself in like a slump if you don't find something to do with your time. So for myself, I got into weightlifting, and I also found some friends through that as well. And it was a way to relieve stress in my life and help myself feel productive and feel like I'm doing something good with my time. What about you guys? Did you guys find some activities or sports or anything like that to kind of fill your time?
I think golf, actually. So a lot of my military friends play golf, and I mean,
classic
obviously
Air
I'm
Force.
back. Yeah, right, exactly. But
Wi-Fi on golf courses.
Yep.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, there's been a few hobbies I picked up from being in the Air Force, and you know, just everyone else's culture. You kind of you get to learn a lot about everyone else, but I don't really have too much. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I've always been into weightlifting. I worked in a gym in college and everything, even though I didn't look like it. But yeah, it's just gym. Like me and Ramsey are workout partners. He kicks my ass every day. We work out together, so it is what it is. But also, like, I don't know. So not even specifically in the military, but like when we went on that hike, like we were out hiking and we were extroverted, talking to people, and we made friends just like that. Like doing what you enjoy, you will attract friends. You will meet people, and like you'll make friends for life doing that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, on the other side of it, for me, I didn't really pick up any hobbies. Like when I first got to here, like in Nebraska, I didn't have like any common hobbies with anyone. And honestly, I think for like the first year being here, I didn't have any friends like I would actually hang out with. So
yeah, we didn't start talking. Like we knew each other for a while now, but we really didn't start hanging out till I'd say about year and a half now.
Yeah, I'm just in general not the person to like reach out to people. Like for me, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm an introvert or anything like that, but I don't know. I feel like I'm inconveniencing people, like asking them to hang out or something. So like the best way to even like interact with me would be someone to invite me. Is like I don't know. There's people I would never have talked to if they didn't invite me, or like a common friend didn't invite me to do something. Like I had a friend that lived here like 2 years ago. He doesn't live here anymore, but he like when I just invited me to go out drinking because of him, I met like 4 other friends, and it's just like sometimes you just need like that one introduction with people, and then that's all you need.
Yeah, and I like to live life where, you know, just say yes. Like, just do it. Yep. I mean, it's an experience either way. Like, you might not like it, and you might go into into whatever activity you're doing with the mindset of, oh, this is going to suck. But, you know, half the time you end up loving it, and you never know who you're going to meet, or like what friendships will come from that. And I know we're kind of talking about, you know, living away from home. However, there's one of us who hasn't moved away from home yet.
Heyo!
So let's hear a little bit about that, dude. Let's get you involved a little bit.
Yeah,
so you're still at home.
Yeah. If you guys hadn't noticed, I was a little quiet for most of the first half of this episode, mainly because I kind of wanted to give the opposite perspective of the rest of these guys, as I am still home, as they said. My biggest experience with moving away was in college for a couple years when I was at NJIT. I dormed there. And I mean, you know, that in a way kind of doesn't even really count because I'm 45 minutes from home. But what I wanted to talk more about was the other end of moving away, when people are moving away from you. And I've had, a lot of experiences where, I've had friends move away. So, for instance, Chris and Joe, when they moved away, that was tough. But more recently, my best friends in the whole world, Kyle and Katie, they moved out to college. Yeah, shut up, fuck you. They moved out to Colorado, and as you know, I went out there recently to visit. But that was really, really hard on me. I had a really hard time with that in particular. And we talk every day, and but like in a way, not being able to see them doesn't, like, even if we talked all day every day, I worked with Katie, so we would see, we'd spend hours a day together. So it was really hard when they left, and even same when Chris left. That was really difficult too, especially because around
here comes redemption.
Shut
nice
up.
Try.
Yeah. Well,
my second best friend.
Well, no, but for real, like around the time you left, that was when maybe a year and a half before that was when we really started hanging out a lot. When your dad became Uncle Fred.
Uncle Fred.
Uncle Fred,
he
shout out.
lived with me for like weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
So it's tough when people leave, and it's like, no matter how much you are able to keep in contact. I talk to Chris every day, mostly about podcast stuff, but we talk about plenty of other stuff too. But it's tough. It's tough when people leave, and like, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, especially because when Kyle and Katie left, it was because it wasn't by their choice. It was where Kyle got stationed for the Army. So they couldn't, it wasn't like they just decided, oh, we're going to up and go to Colorado. Like, they had no choice but to go to Colorado. So,
that's
and same thing, and then Chris was in Delaware, which wasn't too bad. And then, I found out he's getting moved to Nebraska, and I'm like, well, shit, now I'm never going to get to see this guy either.
You know what's funny though is, like, I think we've hung out more this year than until I left.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
the time I had originally moved away to Delaware, I think this past year we've seen each other more than all of that time combined.
Yeah, we saw each other, like, we were seeing each other like 3 straight weeks.
Yeah,
which was crazy.
And I think that's another part that can help keep you sane when you're moving, is making plans to meet with your friends and visit family and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know some people don't really care to go home and visit their family once every year or anything like that. But
yeah,
I usually plan at least 1 or 2 trips back home each year.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just helps me.
Well, like, I think we started, so I got back from my last deployment, and I had a bachelor party for Brandon, whose wedding we were just at not too long ago, where I again saw Randy for like the second time that month. But so at this bachelor party, we all decided we're just going to do a snowboarding trip, and now it's going to be an annual thing. So you don't even have to go home to see your friends. Like, you can all meet somewhere that, like, none of you live.
Yeah.
And just party it up, enjoy it, like, find new stuff to do together.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I actually have.
I love that.
I have a story about it's a quick one about one other kid from when I was in middle school who moved away, and I think this one's more kind of about reacting to your own situation when you move. So this kid in particular, he was part, like, we had a big friend group. He was part of this friend group, and when he found out he was moving away. I don't want to say where or anything. I don't want to, like, throw the kid under the bus. He was moving far away from here, and what he kind of seemed to do was, like, he pushed everybody away before he moved. I think maybe to make it easier on him.
That was like some sort of tactic to where, like, he'd accept it more.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he just started kind of, like, being dick, like, almost just being like a dick to everybody, like, that he would had been friends with for years. And all of us were kind of like, what is going, like, I don't understand, like, why he's doing all this weird stuff. And I think what we finally all kind of determined a little bit was just, like, from his perspective, maybe it was just easier not to be friends with any of us before he left.
But you said this was middle school?
Yeah.
So you also don't really know how to go through life yet.
Well,
so.
no.
Yeah. He probably fell into a little bit of depression there, because I know that'll change your personality, when it's hard on people like that.
Who's talking?
Joe. It's
Oh,
Joe.
it's Joe.
It's
Hey,
Joe.
Welcome
It's
to
Joe.
the podcast, buddy.
Look, see, we don't even know who's talking, and we're on.
Forgot
this.
you were in
Wow.
here.
Yeah,
No, I'm just joking.
I
haven't
was
heard
quiet
his
for
voice
like
in a
5
while.
minutes.
I was quiet for way longer than Joe was.
Exactly.
I actually have a quick question for everyone here.
Yeah.
So I have a buddy. They moved away from home for the very first time.
Is
And
this
unlike
buddy you?
No,
Okay.
but
Asking for a friend.
so yeah, but unlike any of us, like that really moved away, like being part of the military and stuff like that, he isn't. Like he moved just like from Colorado to Seattle all by himself, and he works remotely, so he doesn't have any like. And he like the biggest like he. I talked to him. It was last week, and the biggest question he had for me was like, how do I make friends? Because like I said, he's not part of the military. He works remotely, so he can't get friends from work. And I'm just like, I have no idea. I'm just like, do you have any hobbies? Like, you come up with like random community groups or
Exactly.
something like that. He's like, I play video games. This is like, I don't know.
Find a reason to get out there and get some social interaction with other humans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why he was like, should I just go to bars and just like
Yeah,
talk to people?
absolutely.
And just
Yeah,
like,
fuck it.
why you're talking to people? Like, yeah, why the hell not?
Does he
Find
have
something that you enjoy.
Does he have
Yeah.
a job yet?
Yeah, he works remotely, so he works
see,
at
that
home
sucks.
or
That's
wherever else he
fucking
wants to work.
COVID
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Because
He
like
said
I
that three
mean,
times, dickhead.
Well, no, it's not even COVID. That's just his job.
Oh, it's just
like,
his
he will-
job.
he will-
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know,
I would
like
kill
you
for
know,
that job.
I have a lot of friends like through work too. Like some of my closest friends are the people I met through work.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people get friends, like work or school or something like that, because you see those people almost every single
Yeah,
day,
you're there
most
every
likely.
day.
So
I mean,
yeah,
back to what I was saying about Katie, that was really how me and Katie got to be so close. Like we were friends obviously because she's Kyle's wife, but then we started working together and we got to be really close friends when she started working with me because we were spending, hours a day together.
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think the biggest advice out of kind of talking about all this is how do you deal with, moving, especially when, in that person's situation of not having any coworkers, actually in person is actually just getting out there and, doing what you love. If you just play video games, obviously you make friends through video games, but I think one of the biggest things that you have to do is be social, get out, find at least one hobby that you enjoy where you kind of get to see other people.
Yeah. So one thing I learned is, granted, I was working with one guy, and we both enjoyed hockey, so we both signed up for hockey together. And now I've met all these people playing hockey, and it's just like a bunch of new friends. However, I did have that one person to do it with, so I wasn't going in all alone. But so knowing this now, for like advice for your friend is just do it. Like, who cares? Just go sign up. Like, if he's into a sport, like for me, if I didn't have that person to sign up with, I wouldn't have done it. But now in the future, if I move somewhere and I don't have friends yet, I'm absolutely going to do it alone because you'll make friends
Just
no
send
matter
it.
what.
Yeah.
And then something we talked about in a previous episode is social media. Like all these Facebook groups, dude. Like I met people biking in Omaha. There's tons of Facebook groups that you can just join in, and like people are so friendly on there. Like they're all enjoying the same hobby as you. So
That's a good point.
It's easy now to make friends, in my opinion.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then even something as small as if he enjoys reading books, taking his book and go reading in a coffee shop for an hour. Just try to get out there.
Yeah, I'm sure that, just doing something little like that probably just changes your mindset. You'll probably go from someone that's like, oh, I never get to talk to people, but like even just going to like Starbucks and just sitting there or something like that, or that, I don't know, that would change like my mental state just being around people, even if I'm not actively talking to them.
Right, and then imagine even if you don't even talk to anyone else, minus the barista, you go in there like, a couple times a week or like once a week, you start knowing the barista who's making your coffee, and like, boom, there's a connection. It's like, it's so easy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I see that you come in here every Tuesday and Thursday and read this book. I saw someone else chilling in here on Friday who was reading the same book.
Boom, it's like real life Tinder.
Just
Boom.
like small connectors like that.
Boom.
Wait, so is this what life was like before social media?
Yeah, right.
Weird.
Oh my
Well,
God.
but
It's a
that's
scary
what
place.
My
that's what I
God.
talked about. It's like there's a perk of social media, and that is it. Like I enjoy all those Facebook groups and everything.
I don't think we talked about that in the social media episode. Talon,
Yeah,
cut
we're
this
doing it
out
now.
and put it in the social media
We're
episode.
doing it now.
Yes.
We're doing it live, people.
Sorry.
We're doing it live.
Yeah.
Big oof.
But yeah, so I I agree with you 100%, Talon. What you said in the beginning of the episode is you have to do it. Everyone has to do it at least once. And another struggle in our relationship episode that we'll talk about is I was dating someone for a long time here that wasn't. She told me she was ready to move as I applied for new jobs and everything like that. I was like, "Are you willing to move with me?" She said yes. And when the time came, it was like maybe not. There was resistance there. So, I mean, as much as difficult as it can be to move away from home, you have to at least once in your life, and it's better to do it when you're younger and experience more things. You grow so much as a person because you have no one else to rely on but yourself.
Truth.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of fall back a little bit on what I said. So I don't think everyone should move away. Some people, the only thing I think that people should worry about is getting out of your comfort zone, and moving away is probably the easiest way to do that. Like it because it just happens naturally because you moved away. But honestly, someone could still live in their hometown, just like maybe interact with their family a little bit less or something. Get out there in the world and just do their own thing, and they can probably be extremely successful and they could be very happy. But people just need to get out of their comfort zone, and moving away is probably the greatest experience you could do to get that.
Yeah,
That's
Right.
exactly right.
And take it kind of from my perspective as well. I've been home, in my opinion, way too long, and I talked about this a little bit in my intro episode 1, where I'm not really where I thought I'd be as far as I didn't think I'd still be living at home at this point. Is more or less what I'm getting at. So, and I went on that big trip, as you guys know, and that was a big part in making me realize that I need to get out of my comfort zone, and I need to just do it. Just as Joe would say, send it.
Send that.
You were so happy out there, dude.
Yeah,
you were calling
and
me
so,
saying how much you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into too much of the details about that at the moment, because I know all you guys kind of know what's going on, like small circle kind of stuff. But there's some things in the works, hopefully sooner than later. But
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
yeah,
Make it happen.
Yeah.
and just to
Do
kind
it.
of
Send it.
just for me to kind of wrap up what I was kind of talking about before. I know I got a little off track there, but I think what's helped me the most as far as like again with Chris being far away and like with Kyle and Katie being far away, and I know it's not I said it's not the same as like getting to see them, but just staying in contact. Like, if they're really people that you truly care about, you'll find a way to stay in contact. Just talk to them, even if it's just as simple as like a Snapchat. You send them a Snapchat here and there, or like not even here and there, but like if that's all you do that day, that's fine. Just stay in contact with those people.
Yeah, like Randy sends me a letter in the mail almost every other day. I go to my mailbox and like, shit, another one? Fucking just text me, dude.
Just put it right in the shredder.
Those are love letters, and they are personal. Talon, cut that out.
No one gets that. Okay.
Do they have little stickers on them and everything too?
It's
No.
a little wax seal. It's a
Sealed with a
emoji.
kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, just sealed. I know
With
it's
the
from
poop
Randy
emoji.
just from the stamp.
But yeah, I mean, I try to like, with at least them, I know because I talk to Chris a lot more, obviously because of this. But like at least with Kyle and Katie, I try and like, send them a Snapchat every day, or like reach out and just be like, hey, what'd you do today? Just, simple stuff like that. And it just helps you keep in contact. And, of course it's never going to be the same as being in the same room as that person, but, at least it helps you kind of have a connection with them.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right.
I know, like, this also kind of wraps into the whole beginning of quarantine is like how useful technology could be, and like FaceTiming people is so much nicer than, even just a few years ago when that wasn't a thing. Yeah.
Yep. I think some of the some of your friends will show their truest colors, like when you really talk to them after you leave. Like actually, just before we started this, I got a text from my old childhood best friend from Jersey, Kevin, asking me if he could be a reference, or if I could be a reference for him for a weapons license. But
Oh, interesting.
yeah, but yeah, but yeah. So it was kind of cool because we've been best friends since I don't know, maybe 4 years old, and we still talk to each other here and there. Even if we don't talk to each other for extended periods of time, that we are always going to be there for each other no matter what. I live 4 hours away from him, but we're still always there for each other.
Yeah, I think moving away, personally, this is how at least I feel. it just kind of changes your perspective on how the world works and how your own life works, because what used to be your home now just turns into a destination. It's just a location, just geographically. And what really matters is the people that you meet along the way. Like even here in Nebraska, I don't want to live in Nebraska. It's just a place to me. And like, I'm still like, even if I move away, I'm still going to remember all the people I met. I'm going to remember all the things that I've done, and I'll go to someplace else and it'll be exactly the same way. But honestly, if you never leave home, you're just going to be like, this is my home, and everything outside of this just doesn't matter. And it kind of goes back to like our culture talk. And you once you leave and go see something else, your mind just opens up.
Yeah, you form your own opinions instead of like what you've been raised with.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, dude, that hit deep.
for sure.
That was good.
That is good.
That was good to Elon Musk.
Facts.
And,
you know, go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what Joe said really quick about kind of people show their true colors. I think that's also how you kind of, in a way, realize like who your true friends are. Because you know when you leave, it's like the people who really care are the people who are going to reach out and talk to you. Like if you know, if when Chris left, if I didn't really give two shits that Chris left, I would never talk to him. We wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. I can tell you that for sure.
I've been trying to ditch you for like 7 years now.
I know.
You just don't.
I just keep
getting
I
these
just
freaking
keep
letters in the
coming
mail,
back.
bro.
I just keep coming back.
He doesn't
You
respond
can't get
at all.
rid of
He
me.
just keeps getting
Not
letters.
till I'm dead.
I actually need to know, does Randy actually send letters?
No, I'm talking.
I was like, that's some dedication right there.
Oh my god.
That would
I'm gonna
be
start doing it
amazing.
now.
No, I do
Stamps
want to
aren't
talk
cheap.
about something Randy mentioned and brought up is, you know, his perspective of people moving away. And I feel like this really sucks in the military because, you know, you spend 4 years with people you're so close with and then boom, they're gone. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like I wouldn't have met you two, Jared and Talon, because I hung out with a specific group of people and they all got out and left and they all went back home. And then I was forced to like reach out like, all right, well, like I don't have any friends anymore. So like, who am I going to hang out with? And then like Jared and I, we had known each other, and Talon, we all knew each other, but we never really hung out. And then, you know, kind of being forced to hang out and like, well, these guys are at least my age, so let me talk to them a little bit more. Yeah. And then, you know, we're deployed together, so we're living together for 2 months at a time. And like, it's just nice, you know? It sucks that your friends move away, and it's hard to deal with sometimes. But again, you realize who your true friends are because I call almost all those people at least a couple times a month and just catch up. Yeah. Like, even though you're not there, like, it's important just to call and catch up.
At what point did we start hanging out? Was it at the gym or
for
a deployment or what?
We went to Vegas together for work, and we started working out together. And I
That's
always
right.
thought you were too big. Like, this guy's not gonna want to work out with me. Like, I'm just a freaking
little shrimp
dork, dude.
Still are.
Now we work out with each other every day.
So Vegas is when it started.
Vegas,
And then
baby.
you showed me Capriati's. Oh,
Ooh,
man.
yeah, that's what it was. The key to your heart is food.
Food, man.
You're basically my girlfriend.
That's every man's heart.
Yeah, that's everyone's heart. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Bug facts.
Yeah. So Chris, I think it's funny you said that too because I was out there 2 years ago, and I think it's funny because the friend group that we hung out with when I was out there 2 years ago is completely different from now.
Yeah, they're all gone.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
it's crazy how that works, but like that's such a military thing for that to happen because that's just what happens. People get pulled away and don't have a choice and don't have any say.
Yep.
You got to be
So,
very adaptable.
Yeah. That's the key is what's the term? Not adaptable, but there's a term for it. Oh shoot, I don't know. Just go with the flow, basically.
I like adaptable.
Yeah, I guess adaptable is good.
Darn right.
But yeah, don't know. It's a big word for Joe.
It's a huge word.
There's a big word of the day, adaptable.
But no,
There it
so
is.
yeah, so the keys to take away from this week's podcast is just, you know, get out of your comfort zone if you haven't yet, as Talon brought up. Not necessarily moving away. However, I think moving away a few states away where like you don't have that option to drive home for the weekend. Like I feel like that's important because you really grow as a person. You form your own opinions. You know, you're a betterment to society because you are now your own person. You're open-minded and you're taking all these different places and cultures that you've seen and witnessed, and you're making your own opinion based off of all of that instead of being stuck in one place for your whole life and like that is all you know. And then dealing with it as in making friends, just get out there. go out, do something, find a hobby, find a Facebook group, find something, meet people online and go meet up, carefully. Don't just like get catfished. But yeah, it's important. And then we finished it up by mentioning how we deal with people moving away and like how it's just important to keep in touch and you really realize who your true friends are. So with that, we'll go ahead and get in the outro.
Yeah, so for a while we thought that we were happy with how the episode was, but as we were kind of talking after recording and everything, we brainstormed and we all kind of came up with some extra details that we wanted to kind of talk about when it came to our experiences of moving away. So Jared, you had something pretty important to say?
Yeah, I think it is important to talk about actually what our life looked like at the time when we moved to, well, personally, when I moved to Nebraska and actually moved into my first like actual home. And it was pretty depressing, honestly. So I got to Nebraska and actually got into my first real home, and I was living on an air mattress. I had my TV propped up on a cardboard box, and I was playing Call of Duty and Halo all day, every day for about 2 months.
So did you make any friends in that
Wow.
time?
Yeah, so it was, for the first week or so, it was okay. But then I got tired of eating out, and I was like, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do anything right now.
How old were you at this point?
I didn't even have a car. I was 18.
Oh, so were you married at the time yet?
No.
All right, so this is pre-marriage, pre-brand new car. You had, I
Pre-Rona.
guess, still no money.
Actually, no, I was married. I was married at the time because I was in my own house. I wasn't in the dorms.
Oh, okay, so you're married. Did you have the new car yet?
No, I didn't even have a car.
Okay.
He didn't send it quite as far quite yet. Just
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
It was a
3/4
half cent.
cent.
That was your problem.
But so like it was your first time away from home though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was my first time being in a place by myself.
Right.
Like I wasn't in the dorms like all throughout training when I was in Texas, when I was in Washington. I was with other people.
Yeah.
And we had like a set schedule. This is my first time from leaving home at, a month out of high school. This is the first time that I was actually sitting by myself and actually had time to think by myself without anyone around me.
Right.
And it sucked, dude.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the struggle of, we talked about the benefits and we're trying to get real with people. Is like, yes, it's very important to get out of your comfort zone. And we said it, like, this is why we're retouching this, is we said it sounds so easy, right? Just, go get out of your comfort zone. But we don't want to talk about the struggles that are going to come with that, but how you overcome those struggles.
yeah, and that sucked for a while, but I just started hanging out with more people at work and stuff and tried to be a little bit more social. It was hard at first because I'm a natural introvert,
Yeah.
So like sitting at home on video games was all right to me. But then even if you're an introvert, you can only go so long without social interaction.
Right.
So then I started to, get some closer friends from work, and we started to go out to drink and stuff. Granted, that can become unhealthy, but then I found the gym and things started to get better. I started to meet new people, and it helped a lot.
Yeah. So that's good.
I'm sure you
I
met
think-
friends through the gym, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
All
Yeah,
the
you
gym
actually just went
bros.
to a bodybuilding competition today too. Nice.
Yeah, I did. It was
Cool.
pretty fun.
So my personal story is like I mentioned how I was a little depressed in Delaware, but like so to get a little more in depth with it is, I was not eating, I had no appetite. I'd go for like I was running a lot. I can't really run that much anymore, but I was doing like 6 miles every other day. On top of not really eating, I wasn't starving myself. I just had no appetite, and I just wanted to work out to make myself feel better. So, it was tough. It was definitely tough moving away from, because that was my first time moving away from home, was to Delaware, and I like I said, I hated it. But I didn't find any positives, mostly because I mentioned I was closed-minded, and it still sticks with. That's why it's literally my nightmare to go back home, because I hate it that much. But my positive was when I again moved. I got up and said, "Why am I here?" And I made something happen, and I got out of there, and I loved it. From then, now I don't want to settle down anywhere. Like I do, I want to go to Vermont and live there eventually. But even if I'm settled down in Vermont, I don't want to be there year round. Like I love traveling now. So it's funny how like your biggest negatives can turn into your biggest positives.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like traveling with the military can make you realize how small the world is.
Yeah.
And just like seeing Japan and seeing England and seeing different parts of the States, you realize, hey, I can actually go to all these places.
Right.
And you realize how beautiful it is. So, yeah, you'd like to settle down, but still keep exploring.
Yeah.
You guys
Traveling
go out
in
of the
general,
country?
dude.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
I just made that trip out west, and I drove the whole thing, and like as much as it at the time kind of seemed like an insurmountable task, it was like I did it, like it's done.
So, I guess to bring it a little bit more back on track is like, how did, before you realized all this, like when you first moved to Omaha, how did you deal with it, Talon?
Kind of in the similar boat as Jared. So my first experience in Omaha, I brought my high school sweetheart with me. And
Aw.
yeah, and I mean, it was our first time, both of us away from like home. Well, I had some like military training and stuff like that, so I was away from home. It was her first time away from home, and it was our first time like we had our house and everything at that time, and it's scary at times because it's just like here I am like away from absolutely everything that and we haven't talked about it, but another big issue is money. So like I was an E2 at the time, only like a year in the Air Force. I had like no money, and it was my first house. Our dining table was a cardboard box. The only furniture that we had was like my childhood furniture from like home. Like
Yeah.
I had my sister's old like queen size mattress that my mom didn't want anymore, and like my old wardrobes, and like I think my dad gave me like a love seat, and that was like our couch. Like that was all of our furniture like for a year probably, because like as an E2 in the military, I don't like until you start, especially like as being 18 or not. I was 19 at the time, but like I didn't know money either, and like I had no savings, and it's just like, because like little things like that too, that was a big reason why I didn't hang out with people too often, is because I didn't want people to come over and be like, yo, you have like a mattress and a small and a small couch, and just like, so I didn't have people over because of like stuff like reasons like that. I don't know, like it makes you kind of self-conscious, and it was hard for a while, and I like both me and my wife didn't know how to cook, so it's just like we ate out a little bit too much, and that also drains your like how much money you bring in and
all your
everything
money
too.
is out.
Yeah, exactly, on just food. And then like it's little things like that. You have to, being away from home, you have to quickly manage your time, and you have to manage your social life, you have to manage your money, and you have to just manage so many things, and it all just hits you all at once. And I don't know how I made, like thinking back to it, it's just like, man, I would just like, now I'm like, I would just die from stress if I had to go through like similar things right now.
No, but now like you know what to expect. So this is the whole point, is like moving away, like you're gonna get hit hard with that freight train up front, man. But like you're gonna grow from it, and you're gonna learn how to do it again. And next time it's not gonna be so bad.
It'll be
So,
a
like,
lot
that's-
of lessons learned.
Hey, you said it.
There
In a
it
very
is.
short amount of time. And that's the greatest thing
Very
about
true.
moving away, is that you have to learn these things so quickly, otherwise you're just not going to be able to survive.
Yeah, you have no choice.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Like little things like that, it's like now like I understand finances more. I understand how to like cook for myself, at least like to a basic degree. Like
You
I
can
can
boil
cer-
water.
yeah, I can boil water. I can make pasta. Okay.
Yeah. So Joey, I guess you're only real time away from home. Your situation is weird. So what are your struggles,
is.
and how did you overcome it?
So I've been trying to think about this the entire time, and I really don't know if I've had struggles. I've kind of been, honestly, coming back to Delaware was in a way a blessing, like as far as simplicity goes, just not really having to adapt. I think I'm a very adaptable person. Like I'll fit in anywhere I go, but I didn't have to. So obviously I went to basic training and then tech school and yada yada yada. But you make friends in basic training. They kind of follow you in tech school. I was with friends in tech school, and then I went to Charleston for a little bit to continue my tech school there, and then right back to Dover. So then I had both military and civilian friends. So I really didn't have to adapt much. So
it's really a catch-22 in your situation, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah, and it's also
you.
see, everyone like kind of looks at that though, and they're like, "Oh wow, you're so lucky. You're right back to what you know." And at the same time, that's not what I want.
Right. You got a little taste of it, and then it's like, psych.
Exactly. Because everyone's like, "Oh, you're back with your parents. Must be nice." I'm like, "No, it's not really." Like, I mean, I love my family and all, but I want to get out and explore, kind of be put in a different situation. Everyone who kind of talks to me, like, the one thing I always say is how Charleston was the best time of my life. It was only 2 months there, but I love the whole different environment. I loved kind of exploring new things, and that was, like, that's one place I would love to be. So, I mean,
Yeah, you
again,
didn't have any struggles. Like, you had a house to come back to. You didn't have to struggle for money. In fact, you were making even more money.
yeesh.
So, from Talon and Jared's perspective, screw you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I just got to mention something real quick for the non-military viewers, which is that technically when you join in the
Randy.
military, yes,
And Randy.
when when you join the military, Talon said E2 earlier. That's your pay grade. That just means that you have one stripe. From E1 to E3, you're technically paid below poverty level. We're not rich.
I wouldn't say below poverty level.
I'm
I'd say it's difficult to live on your own.
If you're
No.
not accounting for the allowances you get, it's extreme. You're getting paid like nothing. Like if you're living in the dorms, like you're as an E2, like me in tech school, it's like I was taking home $650 a paycheck. If
Oh,
that
yeah.
maybe about that $650 a paycheck.
That's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is considered below poverty level, but of course they do take care of you in the sense, they give you the rooms and the food allowance.
Yeah, until you live off base, and then it's like you have to have a roommate. To live off base, you must have a roommate financially.
Wait a
Yeah.
second. Did you say like $650 per every 2 weeks?
Yeah, dude, starting
That
out.
sounds like Mustang money to me.
Well, it was in your
what.
case, wasn't it?
With 30%
No, mine was Kia
interest.
Forte money.
And then it went to divorce lawyers and
Oh,
stuff like that.
jeez,
Oof,
big
oof.
oof.
F's in the
F's in the chat.
But no, I mean,
Jinx, show me a Coke.
all these struggles is how you grow as a person, and that was, we didn't touch on any of the negatives. So it's important to see people or show people how, we are struggling and we have been there. So we know it sucks, but it's important. It's like critical that you do that in life and that you learn. So
Yeah, for
Exactly.
sure.
Randy, I know you wanted to give a little bit of a story, so go ahead.
Yeah, so actually, Jared might recall part of the story because I actually messaged him about it while I was in Colorado. So again, I had said earlier in the episode that like it really deeply affected me, especially when my friends Kyle and Katie moved away. And for a while, I didn't realize how much it was affecting me. But I noticed I was having trouble sleeping. I had some other just like personal problems, things going on, and that it really kind of stemmed back to that because I was just so close with them, and it was very hard when they left, to the point even where when I got out there, and from what, and we talked about this on the social media episode, not everything you see is what you get. And, everybody saw I was having a good time, but there was actually a part of me that was like completely miserable while I was out there.
Yeah, because you just lost your two best friends.
Yeah, and then
Not
like
me.
when I was out there, well, no, but I'm saying like when I went out there to visit them, what I was miserable about was like all I could think of in the back of my mind was like I have to leave again, and
Yeah.
like it was killing me, and I messaged Jared about it, and I was like, I don't know what to do, dude. Like I'm miserable half the time, and I feel like shit because I feel like I'm a downer half the time because I'm like too upset to even talk. And his advice to me, and I thought was great advice, was just talk to them about it. Like just tell them what's going on. And I didn't heed your advice right away, Jared. I will admit that.
He did. Take heed of.
Yes,
Headed.
headed.
Take headed of.
It's okay. It's okay.
But
Take heed
I,
of.
and then I came home, and after I came home, I was still just like absolutely miserable. And I finally just sat down and I messaged them, and I was like, look at this is what's going on. I went through the whole thing with them, and like almost immediately it was like a weight got lifted off of me. Like I felt so much
Yeah.
better almost immediately, and like and still like I have moments where it sucks, but like for the most part I'm 1,000% better than I was, and like I really gotta take the advice Jared gave me, and that was really what helped me tremendously. So like if you find yourself in that situation where you're really struggling with the fact that somebody moved away or something like that, just talk to them about it, and just like and really talk to them. Like they knew that I missed them, they knew that I was upset about it, but like not to the level of which I was really experiencing it. And like just tell them, don't be afraid to tell them what's really going on.
Yeah, that's what a lot of stuff is. I mean, mental health is super important. So, I mean, speaking up, whether it's a therapist, your best friends, like it doesn't matter. Like it's important to get that off your chest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's something about actually speaking what's on your mind with someone else.
Yeah.
That takes a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. I mean, I could have talked about that with you guys, all day long, and other people too. I had a couple coworkers I talked to about it with as well, and I'm like, it's not helping. Talking to you guys, like, and not that it's not appreciated that you guys are there for me, but it wasn't helping to the point where it needed to.
Yeah. I always like to live where like you say what you need to say, hold nothing back.
Say what you need to say.
No regrets, just send it.
No
regrets.
Just gonna send it.
So so for the topic of like moving away and having friends move away, it is difficult, and it's not going to be easy at first, no matter what, as we've all just shared our own experiences. Sometimes, like in my case, you just got to move again, and maybe you didn't get it right the first time.
Send it
that
again.
Doesn't mean give up. Doesn't mean give up. It means keep looking, reach out to people, just make sure you're good mentally, and then just give it your all. Don't hold anything back. Just send it. You guys silly? Still gonna send it.
Still gonna
Just
send
it.
Yeah, can send it.
All right, guys, this has been Lessons Learned. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and go follow our other social media pages linked in the description. From all of us here at Lessons Learned, have a good day and see ya!